Meanwhile, in the Steam review section of Europa Universalis 4, it's okay. 6,389.5 hours on record. So yeah, it's that time of year again, where despite the fact that I haven't played Skyrim in years now, I'm just suddenly feeling intense amounts of nostalgia for it. Maybe that's a sign that I should start streaming it, or maybe I should get around to finally doing that race tier list I was talking about earlier. I know I got a few nuclear takes about that. That could at least be funny. I'm not entirely sure why this happens, to be honest. Why of all games is it Skyrim that I feel all this nostalgia for? Why not something like, I don't know, Halo, CE, or Dark Souls? Or even RuneScape. Maybe it's the Nordic setting unlocking ancient Aryan blood memory. Or maybe since this always happens in summer, this is just an expression of my subconscious desire to be in a colder place like Skyrim. So thinking about Skyrim, I naturally started to think about one of the things you spend most of the time doing in Skyrim. That being the combat, and more in particular, why does every run always devolve into a stealth archer? But then the more I think about it, the more I think it's less devolves into a stealth archer and more every run always naturally evolves into a stealth archer. Basically, everything except for stealth archery kinda sucks balls, especially at the start of the game, which is the most formative time of the game where you're figuring out what you actually want to do with your character. I think the best way to illustrate this is just to go through every way you can do combat in this game, one by one, and just go through a process of elimination of just why this combat style sucks, why this other one sucks, and what does stealth archery do that fixes these problems. Skyrim has the classic combat triangle of melee, ranged, and magic that's very appealing to my RuneScape brain, but with stealth added in as an extra option. Let's start with magic, because that's the easiest one to eliminate. There's no nice way to say it, magic sucks balls in this game. Your damage doesn't increase by training the skill, the magicka system is ass, and while you can't find more damaging spells, you can't just get a more damaging version of a normal spell. There's no way to fortify your spells, kinda like you can fortify weapons and armor in the game. You could be the greatest sorcerer in all of Skyrim, but your starting flay spell is still going to do dogshit damage, and there's no higher level version of it. Even staffs, a weapon type specifically made to just cast spells with, can't be enchanted to do more damage. They just give you mana-free casting at the cost of having to recharge the staff itself. Useful in a pinch if you run out of magicka, or you just want to give your follower a specific spell, but otherwise it's kinda dogshit. The only way to pop more damage out of your spells is by dual wielding with the one perk, Fortified Destruction potions and enchantments, which every combat style can use. And yeah, that's about it. But the real thing that makes magic suck is the early game. If you've ever rolled a high elf or tried to do a magic only run, it is miserable. You run out of magicka constantly, and it takes forever to regenerate. You either become completely reliant on potions to get through the game, or you can use the rather annoying strat of just hotkeying an item that has magicka bonus on it and unequipping and re-equipping it all the time. And to add insult to injury, you can't even get stealth bonuses from magic. So Stealth Mage is essentially 1/6 of the combat system that just doesn't exist. Alright, now that magic's out of the way, let's talk about melee. Melee's pretty solid, all things considered. I mean, it's boring as shit. I won't lie, it's pretty much impossible for me to play melee seriously after playing a Souls game. But that out of the way, it is pretty strong. Very basic, but you have everything you need in it. You get more damage from training the skill, you can upgrade your weapons, you can enchant your stuff, you can use potions. And there's also quite a few cool, unique melee weapons too, like that cool blue glass sword, or the infamous wind shear. And if you use veggie soup to get infinite stamina, you can output some ridiculous damage with melee. So what's the catch with melee? Well, very simple, it's melee. You are up in your enemy's face, and they are up in your face, and you're both doing damage to each other. Now yeah, you can avoid a lot of damage by just doing the melee wiggle and going back and forth, but that only works against melee opponents. It does nothing against archers or mages. Additionally, there's simply situations that aren't suited for melee. Like, what are you gonna do against a flying dragon? Not to mention, while we're on the topic of dragons, they also have that one-shot bite attack that pretty much exclusively fucks over melee. So you might think, if I want to do melee but I don't want to take damage, why not stealth melee? After all, the stealth damage bonus is actually even better for daggers. Unfortunately, the problem with that is that stealth fucking sucks in early game. Enemies have X-ray vision and will detect you for seemingly no reason, and all your armor makes a shit ton of noise, so the moment you actually move in close to actually get the stab, they're gonna hear you and just turn around. It's like playing Spy in TF2 against a team that actually knows what the hell they're doing. Now yeah, late game, your sneak skill becomes so strong that you're basically invisible anyway, so it doesn't even matter. At the same time though, at that point in the game, literally everything is retardedly overpowered, so I don't think it really makes a difference. You can take whatever the hell you want and still mollywop the whole game. Alright, so we've eliminated Mage and Melee, so now let's get into the actual topic of this video. Stealth archery and why it's so based. Let's start with regular archery. Well, it's got all the same perks as Melee. You can upgrade your weapons, you can upgrade your armor with perks, you can enchant your stuff. It kind of just trades attack speed and DPS for range, and in my opinion a much more satisfying gameplay loop. Now you'd think another drawback would be ammunition, but arrows are actually insanely common in this game. Every archer enemy in the game will drop some. You can pick up your own arrows from enemies you've stuck them with, and sometimes when an enemy shoots you with an arrow, you can find it in your inventory. It is completely feasible to do an archery only run and never have to buy or craft your own arrows. They are everywhere. Also, as previously stated, I find the archery pretty satisfying. Arrows fly in a nice predictable arc, enemies can't hit you so you can line up a shot, and none of the problems with early game stealth even matter at archery because you're not moving around and you're not even in the line of sight of enemies. So crouching is just the free damage button. So yeah, obviously people are going to use stealth archery. Archery is based, and the stealth is free. Plus arrows are everywhere, you get a bow at the start of the game. It's almost like Skyrim is purposely pushing you towards stealth archery. Honestly, the only reason I don't think it was fully intended is because, well, it hasn't been nerfed to shit, like everything else. But I think that's a discussion for another time. But yeah, I think I've rambled enough for one day. That's going to be the end of this video. Like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube thing. Have a nice day, and enjoy the rest of this match.